I bring in the Gauteng education spokesperson now, Steve Mabona. Steve, a very good afternoon to you. So we've just been hearing, of course, from residents in terms of the crux of the matter there. Academic activities, concerningly, we are told, at the Elra Park Primary School in Nigel, and that's in Ekurhuleni for our viewers, has been suspended now for 3 weeks. They say it's been years, since they've been complaining about the aging infrastructure, and that they were promised a new school by the MEC, or at the very least, a significant renovations. What is your comment as a Department of Education?
Good afternoon, and to all our viewers. Look, yes, we visited the school yesterday. I was there, and the community said they don't want to listen anything that I was trying to explain to them. But we had to put an emphasis that we were willing to fix what they are complaining about at the school. Like, for instance, they were complaining about the pavement that we need to do, electricity in some of the mobile units, and they said in some mobile units there's leakages. Water is leaking when there rains. We then considered to say we've been trying to go to the school to fix what they are raising. The challenge here is that when MEC visited the school, well, yes, he might have pronounced that there's a new school that is needed there. But as a department, remember, we then had to send our officials, professionals, who will then do an assessment. So after the assessment that was provided by the professionals, a decision was taken then that you then have to refurbish the structures. You don't need to demolish and build a new school. But because they heard about funding that was supposed to be transferred to the school, they are mentioning about 30 million that they said was supposed to be transferred to the school, so they wanted that money to be transferred. But my explanation yesterday was that we have decided to refurbish the school, but in the interim, we wanted to, give them the paving, electricity, and make sure that we fix the mobile units that are leaking. And we continue with the process of curriculum delivery while we then plan ahead to refurbish, because the refurbishment process is not going to be a small job. It's going to be a big job where the community will also be involved in terms of who's going to be doing what in terms of refurbishing the school. But they want a school to be demolished, and they want a new school. So when we were trying to explain, they couldn't take anything. They said that because MEC, according to them, pronounced that they must get a new school, that's what they want. They're not going to listen to anything. So they then expelled us yesterday at the school, but then we had to put an emphasis that we are willing to work with the community.
Yeah.
We are willing to sit down with them, but we want the children to be in the class so that when we parallel to that process, interact with all the stakeholders, we know that children are in the classroom, and all the quick fix that we can do, we will be in a position to do, while the learners are in the class.
Steve, from a crisis management perspective, given the volatility now in the area and the fact that there has been no learning for the past 3 weeks, so there are a number of moving targets here and a number of concerns, should the MEC not get back to the community, because there also seems to be a deep-rooted, a deep-seated miscommunication between parents, residents, community members, and the education department? I would imagine it would take the MEC just clarifying some of the things that you are clarifying to us now, to say that given the fact that they had sent in infrastructural experts, these are the needs and these are the timelines.
Well, we can do that. I mean, we are in constant liaison with the MEC to say, how do we move forward? But the danger about the community going into disruption of schooling, there's violence, and then there's a demand that the MEC must come there and they will stop whatever they are doing. It's not a good precedent to set. because it means in everywhere that we are challenged, because we have many challenges in us. We have over 2,000 schools, many challenges that we are dealing with on an everyday basis, working with all the stakeholders. So it means every community that has a challenge at the school, they must disrupt the school, be violent, and they say, we want the MEC to come here. How are we going to manage schooling? Because not that the doors are closed. We didn't close any door. We just said, we understand, but here's the situation. We then have to explain, to say, according to processes, this is what we found, and this is how we're going to be, assisting to refurbish. And we have cordoned off that building to say no one must access the building. But there are allegations that one employee got injured in the very same building that we have condemned as a department, because we said no one must be in this building. But then some official in the school decided to allow people to go into that building. That's where we then, experienced an injury. We're not going to experience an injury because MEC visited the school and he decided to say, no, interimly, let's have mobile units that are going to be assisting us to make sure that we continue with the process of curriculum delivery. And those the mobiles were then delivered. And all this time, curriculum delivery was continuing. But with that incident that occurred, then the community said, no, the school is dusty, and we want paving. And we have sent actually officials to the school to say, let's have that paving. But they have been hindered. They've been stopped to do that paving. They've been stopped to do anything because the community is saying, no, we want a new school or nothing.
Steve, thank you so much for your right of response. Really do appreciate it. Steve Mabona is the spokesperson for the Gauteng Education Department. Of course, our reporter is on the ground, Refilwe Mekwa, just monitoring those developments there. Community members saying that they were promised a new school by the MEC. Steve Mabona saying, of course, that they have tried to communicate with the school in terms of having an interim solution, and that is of mobile classrooms while school learning happens. As we've heard earlier on, there's been 3 weeks of no learning at that particular primary school in Nigel. Elra Park Primary School will continue to give you just the very latest in terms of what happens there. But